You enter a shop and see 3 people waiting. Without a sign or barrier, you stand behind the last person. A 4th person arrives and stands behind you. No one has explained the system, yet a temporary order appears. The group has created a queue. This ordinary line is a small social invention. It transforms a crowd competing for access into a sequence. The basic promise is simple: the person who arrived earlier will usually be served earlier. Time becomes a ticket. Humans have always waited for food, water, officials, and transport. But waiting does not automatically create a neat single file line. People can cluster, push, or use status to get ahead. The modern queue is one particular way of organizing access. Picture a crowd around a well where everyone needs the same resource. Without a rule, physical strength or social rank may decide who goes next. A queue replaces some of those advantages with arrival time. It creates a visible principle that strangers can monitor together. This is why queue jumping produces such strong anger. The person cutting the line is not only gaining a few minutes, they are rejecting the temporary agreement that made everyone else's waiting tolerable. The harm is symbolic as well as practical. A useful mental model is the invisible ticket. When you join a queue, the group silently hands you a position. No paper is required because everyone watches the order. The people ahead protect their places, and the people behind confirm yours. The line becomes a small cooperative system. Sociologists have described queues as miniature social worlds. They develop norms, boundaries, leaders, and methods of enforcement. Someone may tell a newcomer where the end is. Even a simple line creates questions about membership and fairness. Queues become especially important when institutions serve large numbers of strangers. Urbanization and public transport create repeated moments where access needs order. Barriers and digital systems formalize what a small group might otherwise manage. Scarcity can strengthen queuing and also threaten it. When people believe there will be enough, waiting feels safer. When they fear the resource will disappear, the line becomes tense. It depends on trust that the system will recognize the order and deliver something. Wartime shortages and rationing made queues highly visible in modern societies. Lines became associated with limited goods, public duty, and frustration. Later stories turned queuing into a symbol of national patience or politeness. But real historical queues could be anxious, disputed, and closely managed. The myth of perfect order is often cleaner than the lived experience. The queue also hides inequality, as first come, first served sounds neutral. Not everyone can arrive early or wait for hours in the heat. Someone with care responsibilities or insecure work may pay a higher cost. The rule treats positions equally, while ignoring differences in the ability to wait. This is why institutions create priority lines, appointments, and virtual queues. Each modification tries to solve one unfairness, while sometimes creating another. A priority system may be necessary, but people in line may feel resentment. Queues also shape desire, as a long line can signal value. People may join before fully deciding, because the crowd becomes evidence. The line is not only organizing demand, it can create more demand. Businesses understand the psychology of waiting, as progress really matters. A sign saying 20 minutes may reduce uncertainty, even if the wait remains. People dislike not only waiting, but not knowing if the system is working. Digital life has not removed queues. It has just made them less physical. A website places you in a waiting room, while a download waits behind others. The bodies disappear, but the social problem of limited capacity remains. A digital queue can feel less fair because you cannot see others. The invisible ticket exists, but the crowd cannot monitor the order. Trust moves from the group to the institution, and its black box software. The line is both a fairness system and a fragile trust system. You agree to wait because you expect others to follow the rule. When either side fails, the queue quickly becomes a disorganized crowd again. The next time you stand behind a stranger, notice the organization. Arrival time has become rank, as the group stores a shared memory. Small, tedious corrections are what keep the whole system alive. Queuing feels natural because the rule is familiar, not because it is inevitable. It is one answer to an ancient problem. Many people want access, but the door can only serve one person at a time. The queue also creates a temporary moral equality among strangers. A wealthy person and a poor person may stand in the same order, at least in principle. That principle can be comforting, which is why visible exceptions require explanation. A priority entrance may be legitimate, but if the rule is hidden, it feels like personal privilege. Queue design, therefore, communicates values. Barriers and signs do not only move bodies, they explain which kind of fairness the institution has chosen. The modern line turns time into a place you can occupy. You may own no special status, but for a few minutes, you own your position. Everyone behind you recognizes it, and everyone ahead expects the same recognition. That invisible agreement is why a row of waiting strangers can become an orderly social system, and why one person stepping past the end can make the whole line feel personally offended.